What's up, Vince?
What's up, Matt? How you feeling, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for coming through today.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Awesome. How you doing, Sean?
Doing great. Kind of interested in this van that he rolled up in.
Oh, yeah. It's got the Wook killer on the front. When did you install that?
Oh, shit. Pretty much as soon as I got it.
Yeah, so, you need one of those for around here.
Oh, well, I'll be traveling, bro. Be pushing miles. Yeah.
How many Wooks can you push away, like when they're all around the car?
As many as I need.
The real question is, how many bodies can you fit in that thing?
Well, it depends if it's full of art or not. So.
Depends.
We'll cut that for YouTube.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for coming through today on the podcast.
Absolutely, man.
We've been friends for a while now.
Absolutely.
Had a bunch of collabs we've done. I just got your skis. I'm going to try skiing here soon.
Yeah, be careful.
Snowboarder.
Be careful.
But so, like, what inspires your art, dude?
My art is
Get a blunt, light this. Here's a lighter. Yeah,
it's just my natural inclination to touch it, to grab it. Oh my god!
Let me have the headphones real quick. I get at least hear. It sounds like okay. Grab it.
Grab it a bit. You probably can't even hear it.
It's really not bad. No.
Yeah, just do your thing, dude.
These are a little worse because that one's got these cool little. It's got shock absorbers.
Okay.
All right. Should we just start this whole one over?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
hello and welcome to the Robertson.
No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Robertson Stash. Today, we have a super special guest, Mr. Vincent Gordon, my homie, my friend.
No, that's a fucking introduction. I love you for that.
What's up with your Ninja Turtle collection? That's what I've been dying to hear, dude. I've seen it though. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's like,
it's grown extensively and it continues to grow like a giant blob.
Yeah, it's like spreading.
Yeah.
Room to room.
Evolving.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. NECA is kind of doing a mass majority of it. That and Super 7. They're coming out with a lot of really dope.
These are toy companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're coming out with a lot of new figures with the new technology based on the old figures like that Playmates and stuff used to make and stuff. So it's really nostalgic.
They're like
really
more
dope.
Detailed now.
Super detailed. Yeah. Tons of articulation and stuff.
So when you walk into his basement, I mean, it's like a museum of Ninja Turtles from since the beginning to the end, everything in between.
I was big into Ninja Turtles as a kid.
Yeah.
Had all those tiny little figures that were like an inch tall.
Yeah, I got some
had
of those.
all of them.
I had a few of the toys in your basement as well, but mine were beat to dust afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of mine are too, for sure. A lot of them are
because I
ones
played
I had from childhood, for sure.
When I was growing up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done some collabs. I would say like you got like the acid melty kind of vibe going with your art.
Yeah.
Would that be correct? Like,
yeah, it's
accurate?
It's trippy. It's trippy for sure. It's
do you see these images in your head and then you draw them?
Yeah. A lot of it's like just flows from the heart. A lot of it's characters that I've been drawing for years.
Yeah.
Tangents. I go on weird tangents, where it's
that's cool. So you've kind of
weird.
like started these characters. They've had a few different years, a few different versions of them, and then you've dialed them in.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you go through the skis and stuff, there's a bunch of my like super classic
like I've
characters
seen the
on
blue
there.
Guy, the blue guy with the nose.
Yeah, that's like the Gonzo going Gonzo styles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got like the Pink Bunny and all the Ninja Turtles are stashed on there too. So a lot of Easter eggs. Kid Steely's on there. The stars are the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil stars. So it's like
wow.
There's a lot of like
noticed that before.
A lot of
really
like
cool.
real intricate Easter eggs. Like those stars. If you look back into my work, I've been doing those stars for years and years.
That's
and years.
really cool.
And that's just like
another
kind of
level.
My modern day like hieroglyphic stuff. Like the encoding. Also, is the sky is yellow and the sun is blue in that piece too. So and the Purple Mountains for the Rockies. You know, a lot of like just like real subtle vibes. You know, like
Totally.
the average viewer might not even pick up all that stuff, but to me, that's like the encoding of the love into the piece. You know, it's the
Where's Waldo connection.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
For real.
And you know, when I was younger, I read this thing that was people only observe art for about 8 seconds, and this was observing people in a museum. You know, back in the day. If you calculate that now, it's microseconds probably. You know, people are swiping. You know what I'm saying? It's tough for me to live in that world, you know, where people are just fast swiping and not paying attention to like the details. They're not patient enough to like
With
observe.
something like your art, it's like they're back swiping to say, wait, what did I miss? It's like,
if their mind can even calculate, you know what I'm saying? Like in that, you know, because it's like, I don't know. There's so much information there, you know, it just becomes a blur. You know, it's like, you know, if you're moving so fast, you know, you only can see so much, you know, out of your peripheral or whatever, you know, it's the same way. You got to slow it down.
How'd you get into art? Did you start drawing as a kid or?
Yeah, it was always like my escapism for sure. I was dragged to church a lot when I was a kid. So I would just fill up notebooks and notebooks, you know, and when I was done with that, I would draw in the Bible, you know. And
so you've seen Nacho Libre when he's drawing the wrestler and he looks up at the what is it, what do you call that glass?
stained glass.
The stained glass. So when Nacho Libre looks up at the stained glass and, you know, he's drawing the wrestler, he's just like, oh, it closes the book. Have you seen Nacho Libre?
The main thing I remember
like
is those are the orphans' chips.
Did you tell them they were the Lord's chips?
That was actually the first band I ever saw at Red Rocks was Tenacious D.
Wow.
Back in 2000.
The first band at Red Rocks, Tenacious D.
Yeah,
Jack Black.
Yeah, it was
Kyle Gass.
Yeah, it was Tenacious D and Ween.
Dude, I just watched the Pick of Destiny again, and when he meets Kyle Gass for the first time, when they're playing on the street, and he's singing to Kyle Gass's, that is an epic, like movie scene.
Yeah.
So you started drawing in church as an escape. What about school?
Yeah, I was drawn then too. You know, I always liked art. I always was drawn to it. I always wanted to do it like as a career. Like when they were like, do you want to be like, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, you know, like an artist would be cool, you know. But it was very much not a thing that was like, oh yeah, you could be an artist. You know what I'm saying? It was more like, no, that's not a real job. You know.
Where was this? Chicago you grew up?
So I went to high school in Wheaton North, and that's outside of Chicago.
Okay.
So my family's from the South Side originally. So kind of the best of both worlds over there. But yeah, my grandma really encouraged me a lot. She got me my first computer to do art with. She, like, over the years would always, you know, get me whatever art supplies I needed. After I was in California doing art full time, she would curate art shows at like public libraries with my art and like hang it herself and like run the whole circuit herself. And she would, you know, pick them up and drop them off. And, you know, so
did you like win every art contest that school had to offer?
Not really. Not really. I definitely, you know, won a bunch of contests and shit. The first time I went to New York was an art contest. Same with Atlanta. So it has been something that I've been nurturing my whole life, but the early 2000s really hit a wall with like hustling and the corporate world, and like I was struggling to find my place of what I would be happy doing and comfortable doing. And the art was like always right there. Like,
was it always like painting and drawing, or?
I've done like almost everything you could do, you know, from fashion to like clay to, you know, oil painting. Like I've worked with, you know, my first project that I can like, I wish I had the footage of it, but it was a claymation. And this was like click, 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 click.
Can we get
you
the
know?
footage somehow and post it up?
Oh, man. That'd be something that like, I don't even,
It'd be hard to dig
wouldn't
up.
even be a format that we could utilize, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even remember what format. It was probably like on some kind of disc or that was
VHS,
MP3?
laser disc.
if anything, it might have been like on the videotape type thing, but I honestly can't remember what technology we were using at the time, but it was definitely probably like an Apple 2GS, you know, type thing, you know?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was in baseball. My sister went to an art school and she did a claymation with an art class. And, you know, as like a 7-8-year-old, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And my mom's best friend in college was an artist, and she taught us how to like shade and really just to do all kinds of art. So we'd go to Corpus Christi, hang out, and just kind of learn how to do pastels and stuff. And I got into art as a kid and I really liked it, but I never thought, you know, I'm going to be an artist. And I was really good at it. You know, I won a contest and when I was in third grade, and they
Boosted your confidence.
yeah, you know, in fifth grade, won another one. And, you know,
It's not about wanting to be an artist. Like you are an artist,
right.
You know, you are an artist.
Wow.
You don't have to try to do it. You
That's
know,
deep.
like
That
it
is
just,
deep,
you
really.
know, it
Like,
is.
If you go
Yeah.
into art to make money, then you're really not an artist. Kind of.
Making money is an art too. You know, I mean, there's an art to the hustle, you know.
So what's your main inspiration? I mean, what drove you to have this kind of style and to really carve out your craft?
I think isolation. You know, so back in the early 2000s when I was really trying to figure out what my style was, I was experimenting. I just got out of the corporate world and was like, okay, I'm doing art. Fuck it. Like I'm doing art. I'm not doing anything else. I'm doing art, you know, and like, even if it's selling paintings at the swap meet of like the Chargers or versus the Raiders or whatever, like I was helping my buddy who was a digital artist back in the day. You know, I would do anything it took in the art world to be, you know, just to make ends meet. And so I was locked in the studio for about a year, maybe a year plus, just cooking away. And that's when I started this like really clustery, unfolding, adventurous, Where's Wallowy style. And
That's a great explanation for it.
and so I was actually sharing my studio with a glassblower, my buddy Jeff Newman, who is a great friend of mine. Mike Shelbo came up by the studio one day. You know, him and Jeff are good friends and stuff. So that's how we first met. And he was like, "Man, your stuff is awesome. You know, like you need to get your stuff out. Like, what are you doing? You know?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What are you doing?" I'm sitting here creating. Like I'm like a cake in the oven. You know, I'm fucking cooking. You know, and he's like, "Nah, man, you're ready. Get out there." You know, and he gave me my buddy Sugar's number, and it was like, "Call this dude. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He works in the art world. He does a lot of facilitating and, you know, this is in San Diego." And so I call Sugar, you know, and we kick it off instantly. He introduces me to my boy Sean Dietrich. You know, we start doing the art circuit and, well, creating an art circuit in San Diego, live painting, DJs, bands. We do hip hop shit. And really a grassroots, I don't need your permission to live this life, which previously like was my mentality. Like I need to get into a gallery.
What year was this?
You know, this is probably like 2004.
Okay.
2004-ish. And shit was crazy, you know. It was crazy. Like, You know, we were doing shows, rooftop parties, pool parties, you know, and then at the nighttime we'd go do gigs at the club, you know, and so I was doing like 2-3 gigs a day at times, you know.
So what happens during these gigs? Is this like live art?
Yep, live art.
Okay.
And this is like where I really chomped my bit. And that chant, like my style is very, you know, like I said, my stuff is birthed from isolation,
Right.
from like quiet time and like putting tons of energy into like a very, you know, small, you know, dedicated thing. And so it was very challenging to have to paint live and like, hey, you got, you know, 4 hours to finish this piece. That was a huge challenge for me. And that you know, was a huge part of my artistic growth, getting into that.
Did you enjoy that time crunch challenge?
Oh yeah. Yeah. At first I was
It's like a performance.
right. And not only that, it's it was forcing me to think on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
It was forcing me to get out of my comfort zone as an artist.
I love that.
Challenging myself, you know, because I'm telling myself, I'm this art, I'm this, you know, I can't do that, you know, but I just had to do it, you know. And you know, we were just in Orlando with Kim, Rocko, and Hoobs, and
All the homies.
you know, yeah, I was, you know, I did a live painting there. It was maybe like 5.5 hours, 6 hours, and it was a great piece. You know, I really challenged myself and pushed myself. And
I love that piece. It was on a black background canvas, right?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Seems like you dialed it in over the years, like with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm authentically, unapologetically me, you know? And I think that creates a lot of space to wiggle and a lot of room to explore myself, visually, personally, you know, creatively. And it also allows me to like fall back on that comfort.
so for that
you know,
last piece that you did, that was a gator, right? So
Yeah,
you
for-
were in Florida,
Yeah,
gators were the,
yeah, it's the vibe.
kinda like the-
yeah, it's the vibe for sure.
you know, the animal of
Yeah.
the state.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I you know, I got there. I don't usually like plan ahead when I'm going to like do these live paintings. It's like I like to soak up the vibes. I like to see where the energy's at. And you know, we were just cruising around, and I just jumped on the iPad and was just, you know, Amy from Las Vegas was driving us around, and I'm just in the back sketching this shit out. And you know, I just saw it, and it was just like, oh, here we go. And
That's awesome.
so yeah, you know, I think letting the energy speak to you is like super important. You know, like
Yeah.
you can go in there, force it, do whatever you want to do, but I think especially when you're doing work for a client, like you want to be able to put your finger on the pulse of that client and like.
And you're like usually you're doing like walls and like other things.
I
and
do
reading, like-
everything. I do everything. You know, yeah, but it's, you know, I'm flexible. You know, I've been working a lot in the digital world these days. You know,
how's that going?
It's great, man. It's great, but it's also like leaves me wanting the physical paint. You know, wanting, you know, the paint on my clothes, the paint on my hands. You know, like
Wow,
the
yeah.
feeling of the brush in my hands. You know, it's different.
What medium do you prefer when you're working on a piece?
I usually let the project dictate
Okay.
what tools I use. And budget that can
I mean,
that can
trying
dictate as
everything.
well.
You've been blowing glass a little bit, right? You've been trying.
Yeah.
flips.
So I honestly, I found a whole new love for glass blowing, like through COVID and everything. It was my art therapy, you know.
That's
and
awesome.
I really used it as another way, like we were talking about with the live painting, to challenge myself physically and creatively, and emotionally. Honestly, that shit is fucking A. Nothing challenged my mental like fucking glass, man. and shout out to Dabber Jones for, teaching me and showing me, and Rocko also. And,
awesome.
Rocko, he blew my fucking mind. He gave me a one-on-one lesson, and
wow,
that dude's the low-key goat.
He really
know that low-key goat.
He is.
Fucking, I need to make him a sticker that says that. But yeah, so, I've been blessed to be around the right creative people that have love and that creative collaborative spirit, like we were talking about, how that's really what brought us even closer to is working together creatively,
for sure.
Just talking about our surroundings,
right?
Yeah,
it's important.
So you have all this art. How do you sell your work?
I do some stuff online. I'm old school as fuck, man. So I like getting out there and shaking hands and really being out there with the people. I do stuff at festivals. I do pop-ups at little galleries and stuff. I'm in the streets,
Great.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Whenever you go to a show, Vince is out there live painting. He's got his booth. He's got his setup. He's got his people selling the merch. He's putting on a show, dude. It's great.
Yeah. It's I got it easy though these days, man. I do what I want. I take the projects I want. I don't take the projects that I don't want. It's I'm grinding, but I'm fucking I'm good, dude. All I got to do is just keep doing good work, and my people will take care of me, and it'll be all good. Not to say that I don't still have to hustle. You know what I'm saying? The hustle's never dead.
Yeah.
But it's just not as hungry. When you haven't eaten in days, you're hungry. You'll fucking chase down that meal. And.
So what shows are you doing this year?
Only one on the books right now is Las Vegas, and that's early January.
Yeah.
Since COVID, I haven't really picked up the full coast to coast 30 show summers, so I'm really just
that's what you used to do?
Oh yeah, for sure. And
festival circuit.
It was just constant it was just constant burnout, kind of, you're just chasing the carrot type thing, COVID was a blessing. It slowed my life down a lot. It sobered me up. It fucking, really got me in a place where I could deal with myself, and not just deal with the fucking stop sign or the red light that's in front of me, and it got me really present with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And, I hate to say it, but COVID was a fucking blessing, man.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people too, actually, kind of.
It was a lump of clay. It was a lump of clay, if whatever, whatever you want to make of it. Yeah. But also it's having that time is a luxury. Time is a luxury. So it's what you do with your time is, a luxury, you know, and it definitely, I was able to restructure a lot of how I do things, so definitely grateful for that.
It was a blessing for a lot of people, definitely, I think.
And I know a lot of motherfuckers suffered, man. I mean, fucking, I don't know if you know the homie Rico. Rico just passed, phone homie.
Rico? Oh,
yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he's, he was one of the ones that was fighting COVID for the longest, but
he had COVID.
Yeah, he got COVID and then just suffered from complications from it, and but yeah, it's tough, man. But
shit, dude. So you do a lot of collabs, right?
Yes, sir.
What are some of your favorite collabs?
Oh shit!
Besides, you don't really need to plug you and me on this one. But,
besides you, of course, at the very, very top.
Why does everyone always say that on the podcast?
Because we know you need this, brother. We love you. We love you.
I need this
we
more
need
than
you.
Yeah.
No.
But like I got the skis, dude. That's so cool. So who's that with? Oleo?
That's an Oleo and Icelandic collab.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's fun. It's merchandising is a big part of what I do.
Okay.
So to me, that's a stimulating, and that it's a different format. It's functional. It's you take it to the top of the fucking mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like you could literally send it with that shit, and yeah, that's pretty fucking. I'm an indoor hippie. Like I'm fucking not on the top of the mountain very often.
Do you have? You got the skis. Do you have any other extreme sports like frisbees? You've probably done the frisbee.
I've done
before.
some discs.
Yeah.
Not like small batches for like private people and stuff. But the grassroots collabs is like that single-handedly is probably my greatest collab as far as bringing art to the masses, and like making it affordable, making it obtainable, they do all the drop shipping and shit, it's like it's really an ease off an artist's back, so I love collaborations like that
That's
are like,
cool.
Let's both put our sails in the wind and let's fucking sail, motherfucker, let's fucking go, and like,
hell yeah.
But like, like I mentioned Sean Dietrich earlier, he's, he and I cut the jib together, and like, we catapulted each other a ton, and, I learned a ton from him, as well as, my man Sugar, he's not a visual artist, in that sense. He's a DJ, he does music and stuff like that, but that collaboration, you were talking about surroundings, that environmentally is like a lifestyle, like we collaborated on a lifestyle together, bringing other artists into the fold, teaching artists how to be artists. My old crew, the Infusion Project, the whole basis was empowering artists, bringing artists into that live painting platform, putting artists directly in front of clientele, collectors, opportunities.
That's awesome.
Without the galleries,
Yeah.
And the gallery was, that was that gate, the gatekeeper for artists, and the Last World, they've broken that mold too, I mean, it's empowering as an artist to like be able to go directly to your clientele, and have them appreciate it.
For sure. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, that's a lot for a young kid, unsure about what he wants to do with his life. Now that's inspiring, dude. That's inspiring.
Yeah, man.
That's inspiring.
Just got to do it, man.
Well, Vince, I love you, baby.
I love you too, man.
Yeah. You drove with me back from like California to here. It's making a transition, had a baby.
Yeah,
you're an inspiration to me.
Oh man, I love that. It's very kind of you to say, man.
You are.
It's awesome.
First name on the list for people to interview on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
I still have it. It's written down.
Well, for sure. It is.
Love it. Love
dude.
it.
You're an inspiration, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we've done some growth together, man, for sure. And that's, and also push each other to be better, and
we do
not settle. So
we do.
Cheers to that.
Okay, here's the next question. What do you listen to when you work, when you're painting in your studio?
Oh, a lot of funk. A lot of funk, some R&B, some love shit here.
Wee funk? Do you fuck with wee funk?
Not necessarily.
No. You don't like wee funk?
No, I just don't. Not familiar with it. I'll check it out though.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, Lettuce is like probably my fucking
Lettuce
go to. Those are the good homies and shit.
I smoked a blunt with their bass player.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
I traded a
man.
blunt for a bottle of JMO at Wakarusa.
Love it.
Like,
shout out Jesus, we love you.
Sure, man. Like, I wrote him on Instagram. I took a couple of pictures of him and some girls. Yeah. He never opened the message.
Yeah,
so
he gets a lot of DMs, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe you'll see it. All right, then The last
This last
he's good
question is
people.
like a big question. It's like, brace yourself for this.
I'll ask it. You just asked like the last 5 ones, so
Yeah, dude,
It's my
chill out.
podcast.
Damn.
If I can want.
Damn.
No, but you asked this one, okay? You asked this one. Go ahead, ask it.
what is the meaning of life?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus?
Oh. The meaning of life, I think, is finding happiness and balance and a way for you to contribute to your community and benefit from your community in an organic way. And yeah, love is
That's
Yeah.
the
Beautiful.
best answer we've ever had. Well, I think we got one more question to ask you about what's your Ninja Turtle collection worth
oh shit.
these days with a market like this? Is it,
Oh,
you
it's
know,
just happiness, man. It's just,
Why don't you tell us about the animal stack?
Oh yeah, the animal
that was
stack.
cool.
Yeah, the animal stack was.
Who bought that thing?
Oh, I have it. I almost was going to bring it back to you, but it's.
I thought someone was like paying for it for a long time.
No, I thought you were going to pay for it for a long time.
Oh, shit.
Me?
I thought you were the person. What happened with that?
Oh
Man.
my God. Am I dead or am I alive? Because I thought someone died in this story and they were buried. Weren't they buried with a piece of this?
Oh, the multi-beast.
Oh.
The multi-beast.
Okay,
the multi-beast.
Is that what it's
The
called?
God,
multi-beast.
am I alive right now? Okay.
Multi-beast. Yeah, bro. Fuck. Yeah, that's a great story. That's a great
Well,
story.
let's just start that story up right there.
Come sit down now, children, and let me tell you the story of the mythical, magical multi-beast. No.
I love it.
I'm here. I'm
Let's
waiting.
go.
Yeah, so the multi-beast was a pretty dope collaboration that actually came to fruition from start to finish, which was me designing a piece and then Matt making that piece out of glass.
That piece had so much energy in it that when you held it for the first time, the head popped.
The head literally fell right off
like
of it.
popped off.
And it
of
fell right onto a soft mat, so
Yeah,
it didn't
had,
break or anything.
It didn't break or anything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Perfect. That was crazy.
That was crazy. Quite the adventure.
Mm.
So
That was the whitest I've ever seen you that night. When that
fair enough. Yeah, that was stressful. I was glad it fell on that
you
mat.
that was funny. I gave it to you and like the head popped off. That was weird.
It was like you were playing a joke on me or something.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
It wasn't. It's like, yeah, I just had it sitting on there. Yeah, that was fucked up.
But then I fixed it perfect.
Perfect fix.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I get an email from a collector's sister who was in mourning, who said that her brother was a huge fan of my work and Matt's work, and he had the multi-beast hat from Grassroots, bringing Ryan and the whole Grassroots collaboration back into the fold, and how much it really has touched people and, became an integral part of the life, and people just really love it, but he passed away and he was buried in the multi-beast hat, the multi-beast Grassroots hat. And she was like, can do you have any more of these hats? I just want a hat to remember, my brother, and I don't even have one of those hats. If I had one, I would have sent it to her, even if I'd already worn it, whatever, and I was like, well, I do have the fucking original right here, if you would like it. And, she was like, oh my God, that would be amazing, and, she's like, whatever. And she got on a payment plan and like was making like $100 payments or whatever for it, and I just mailed it out to her earlier, like this in the summer here.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's been like years and years. And like, now she has it as like a remembrance of her brother and her love for her brother and, the bond that they had. And, over the years, we would just talk randomly and stuff like that. And, it's like, I've never even met her, but like we had like
that kind of connection is just like a lot of people don't get to experience that, but that
yeah,
they had
it was
that
awesome.
kind of connection to your artwork, our artwork. Whatever.
Yeah, and then then we were able to like link as humans, also like in mourning and like in loss and in celebration of life too, and having something positive to remember her brother by, and like something that's super unique. Like those woodcuts were collaborations with my little brother too, so it's like we put a lot of love into that. We put a lot of our creative energy, and like my little brother was actually like a big stimulant because my little brother's the real big fan of your stuff.
Well, I remember that whole time in my life, like that's pre-COVID stuff. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. That's
just when I kind of, that was awesome. And things were just like different. I don't know. People were just,
it was wild.
COVID happened, kind of like shocked people a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What a special journey.
Yeah, and it really was cool, and that's just like a unique story that, made it back to my ears, like I'm old school and stuff, so I like human connection, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I like, I value people, like, and like that's a beautiful thing,
Yeah. Well, I think we've had an amazing podcast today.
Okay, I think so too.
You were talking about.
Would you be a guest again on the podcast? Like when
absolutely, bro. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
We'll come and chop it up whenever you want, man.
I feel like there's a lot more to talk about here.
Oh yes,
yeah. I mean, we could
years of knowledge to be learned from this man. So.
Yeah.
And from you.
I mean, possibly, but
giant.
today, you guys know I'm going through what that affected.
Yeah.
But we'll sign off here today.
Yeah.
And so, thank you for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode with all of us, and we'll fill you in. We're gonna get deeper and deeper into the whole. Like this one got real deep and personal.
Scratching the surface, baby.
So we'll see how much we cut out for the members and for the non-members, and then we'll see. But love you all. I love you guys. I'm Matt.
Sean.
Yep. Vincent signing out. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
See you guys next time.